called TiE Holidays, and as he told you, he's a priority partner of Make My Trip, with Make My Trip. There's a lot of excitement. He's getting into holidays, he's into
it was more exciting earlier. Now I think it's the boring part. That started off. People actually say me that what you were doing earlier was dedicated to the wildlife and the safari.
Then he's a photographer.
That was more interested than what particularly you're doing right now, because now you would visit in the office and do that computer thing. There you would be on the field and everything.
And then we have Miss Ruhi Khera. Like she told you, they run a company. Mr. Mukul is here, and they run a company in which is into online tutorials and KPO and other related things.
I'm Vikesh Sharma. I've just graduated from an engineering college.
Okay.
And this company hired me recently for as a marketing and social media promotions. It's just been my third day at the company, and they wanted me to be part of this so that I'm more versed with these things. And from here.
Right, so we'll start with you, Karan. How your experience been till now? They're both young and dynamic.
I think I was just 18 when I started it off. It was just an idea. Basically, we are based out of the family business, that is agriculture. So, branches where we normally have seed plants, rice mills and everything. It was just an idea that if so and so our cousins could do so well in the seed plant thing, so why can't we do it? It was just an idea. So we finally started it. And then soon after that I entered into this college and all. And then I met a wildlife warden, basically corporate national park. So he said that you are a young guy, and I went within couple of trips, 2 or 3 trips. So he told me that why don't you become a member of Wildlife Preservation Society of India, as well as you will make the advisor to the Wildlife Government of Uttarakhand. So in case you're so interested, so we'll participate together into the conservation of wildlife. So it all started from there. I didn't even pass out my college. I think during my college days also I was doing these wildlife tours for foreign persons coming from Europe, London basically. So I took in the exemption from the college that I am participating into wildlife and actually practicing tourism. So please exempt me from the attendance and all. So he very, very easily in person said, okay, attendance is not a problem. You just have to come and give the exam. So then I used to conduct wildlife tours. I used to conduct exhibitions on wildlife photography. So both the Kana with our teachers something. So passing out in the college was not an issue. And then I landed up with a job and soon after I passed out, or not even I didn't pass out, worked with them for 2 to 3 years.
They found you or you found them?
No, basically they used to come to the college. I had a campus interviews and everything. Since I was already experienced into all these things, so they thought that I'm the right candidate. So they took me as a starting executive. So it was focused from the very beginning that I had to go to Make My Trip to learn the basics of travel and tourism. How do we do the ticketing, how do we operate the software that we have in the and the processes that we follow with the international suppliers and all. Because sooner or later, even if I had that wildlife thing, I have a couple of relatives or some connections abroad, I get the clients from them. So to reach out more customers to generate more volumes, I had to know the basics of it. So it was very focused from the very beginning that I would go and make my trip, work for around 2 years and then leave it also and then start my own venture. So that is exactly what I did was just went in to make my trip, took up this writing partner and then started it off. Now, since it's been some time that I've been into ticketing and holidays and everything, what is the commercial part, what we normally do in the cities also. Other than that, I'm still doing the wildlife tours and all. So the only backdrop I feel for wildlife tours is like you can only conduct, I think, 2 tours, escorted tours in a month. So generating volumes out of it is very difficult. If you go on a week tour to a jungle, you stay in the jungle for around 1 week, and then it's very difficult to go for the second week again. You have to take rest for around 3-4 days at least. So that is how it goes. So one is that part, one is this part, which is more commercial part. That is the more specialized thing that I do. And obviously it is my hobbies, the photography and the conservation of wildlife, poaching and everything that I normally pursue out of my personal interest in the wildlife department. So that gives a special knowledge extra, what normally the guides in a forest park does not have normally. So normally whenever a tourist goes to a forest park, the government has that scheme that you have to hire a guide. That is the employment scheme that they have. No matter you are so much knowledgeable about it, but still you have to hire a guide just to create employment and so. So wherever you go in India, they hardly speak about it. They just tell you about ye call aa gayi, and like so and so deer is so and so deer is boys or something like that. But the details when people come from abroad, when they come from America or London, so they want to know each and everything about the thing that they're participating in. Not like India that now कोई shopping कर लिया है, थोड़ा बहुत इधर घूम लिया है, थोड़ा सफारी में चले गए, they came back. People abroad, they research everything before coming to India. Each and everything. They have been to Africa, they have been to India, other parts also, so they expect a good amount of knowledge from that. So for that case, you actually have to have a personal interest into something. Only then you can create your specialization. That's my story.
Looking forward to read.
I went on a vacation spree with it.
I'm sure it's really exciting to listen.
It's exciting, but sometimes it gets very boring. Also, when you stay inside, there's no phone network, no laptop, no nothing. So it's just the camera and the laptop that can work.
So I think briefly I have introduced it. And if I start with my own journey, I mean, I've been a totally management and commerce graduate for my life, from school as far as I can remember. Very clear about my mindset that I wanted to get into the service industry, which was quite safe. So when I got a campus placement with Daksh, that we joined, eventually I landed up in Viva in Delhi, worked with them for about 1.5 years along with RPS, Royal Value Scotland. Then came to Chandigarh, got to see my husband. Then I picked up a job with Thomas Cook for an exchange. Right here in Iceland. And after about 1.5 years, again shifted back to corporate sales. And since then I was looking after the PR and corporate relationship of Viva for uptown north except for Delhi. And I worked there for about almost 2.5-3 years. And well, it was always there that I wanted to get into my own thing, because being into a service class, I was not enjoying the flexibility part of it, which I could see him having. And the plus point was that we anyway had our own business to follow back to. So he was already into IT and outsourcing, immigration consultancy. So he kept on making a space for myself, which quite didn't happen. But it was his brainchild, the education industry that he wanted to get into. And finally we could, the research went on since it was going on in his mind since a long time. And finally, it took off after a research of almost 1 year plus. And then eventually we could give it shape in the form of e-online tutors. And we commercially launched in the month of March 2012. So technically speaking, it's not even been 1 year, but yes, we've been involved with the working and all for more than 1 year now. So it's been a good journey because it's a totally different kind of exposure, the international market for me. Plus dwelling into your own business, more than the benefits, it got a lot of other things involved as well. But yes, of course, this is a lot of learning is involved in this particular trade, as to say, because the kind of interactions that happen, putting together like almost 100 things together and working in just one function of it, So if I compare the two, it's like a roller coaster ride.
It's been a good journey from sales, PR, marketing to now.
Now my own thing. Yeah. And though I'm a total duck, I would say, as far as IT is concerned. But yes, I'm learning with each
So
person.
what exactly are you doing in this?
Well, I have to be a co-founder.
Right.
But though it's his idea, it's his child, and it is, the framework, everything happened. This is what he started in, like Tarun had come up with. So then eventually, we had to divide functions because obviously, it was expanding day on day. So yes, the planning and strategy and, that is both of us look at it. But if you say about financial part of it, the HR part of it, particularly I'm focused on that as of today.
Okay.
Are they like, do you work with freelance trainers?
Freelance tutors.
Few freelance tutors,
Yes, we do. We have in-house resources that we hire, but of course, a large base of it is formed by the freelancers only. Because it's again a customized kind of thing, like if a student would want a session at a particular time of a particular subject, so I can't have one person catering to it throughout.
Absolutely.
So automatically, I have to involve freelancers.
Definitely.
So you're dealing with more of people abroad, like you would.
Yes, the customer base is abroad. And anyway, actually, we were dealing abroad because of the existing trade of ours. Like, it's with the name of CREED, C-R-E-E-D. So it's Infotech and Immigration Consultancy. So anyway, we were looking at the international market already. But this now, of course, has taken the focus, and the way it's come out, this is the major part of our business as on date. That's e-online tutors. But the international market, definitely we had already a window to it, beforehand only. It's good. For me, it's like a total comparison. Working in the domestic front and the international is way different.
Well, like we had a question, please.
How did you, in the beginning, what were the problems you faced while interacting with the foreign customers?
See, it's not exactly.
Like you said, you had to do a lot of research. So
on the business.
Okay.
Yeah, on the business model as such. That's what I meant. But if you talk about the customer requirement, it's the same, at the end of the day. What they want is, if I'm buying something, so I would want maximum quality, maximum satisfaction.
For example, they are in UK or in some other developed country. They know worldwide tutors are there.
Yeah.
So what are you giving them that they prefer India or they prefer you?
See, it's not, we're not selling as we are an Indian-based company. We're not dissecting that, okay, now UK-based, we're Indian-based.
No, it's like you have to compete worldwide now.
Yes, that's the point. That's the point. So it's, our idea is not something that we've developed. Okay, there were always, there were a couple of companies that were already trading in the same trade. So we've had a kind of we've had pioneers in this particular trade. So it's not a concept that is totally ours. The only edge that we've added to it, that one would say, yes, I would want to go in for e-online rather than ABC company, would be that, as I just told you earlier, that we are, studying on compatibility learning styles of the student and the tutor. Right now, maybe I'll not be able to explain you at length that what it is exactly, but it's in the crux of it. I can tell you that it's like a test the student takes, and there are grades that we come up, like we mark him on, and accordingly we assign tutor.
Okay.
So what happens in that process is that the tutor would be more compatible with the learning style or with the acceptance, of the student as such.
That way you can give him a choice. He can look for his compatibility.
Yes, of course he can.
That's a both way.
It's a very, very customized product. It's not like, it's not, however the, student would state, like we have assignment help, we have projects that we make for them, we have, so many other things that we're doing. You're just not tutoring.
So how do you see this changing of system of education in India? It's going on. A lot of open learning is coming into the picture, and a lot of things are happening. I think almost every second university is getting into either open learning or a distance education.
So I think it's the order of the day. You can't do if you're not flexible enough. And I think what's happening in India, it's exciting times to be here. The way things are.
Do you feel the quality is going down?
No, of course not. I think our generation is so conscious. We don't set for anything less, do we? I
did a small pilot study on distance education. There are a lot of problems coming up in distance education. Probably people cannot, they don't have anyone to guide. These programs they have. You just get the books and you have to study and probably go to a test center and
just take the test.
That's the problem industry is facing, is the skill is not there. You're just getting the theoretical part of it, not getting the.
That's just the thing to pile up your degree actually.
Absolutely. It's
just to acquire
maybe you have also a master's, But I think, I don't know, if you're talking about in context with our business, it's not exactly on the framework of distance learning, because if you talk about a one-on-one tutor, study, if you see the market trend in the Western countries, here you would have a child studying with a tutor physically, studying with a tutor. There wouldn't be any children maybe beyond second grade who are not having tuitions as such, if you go by the trend in India. But abroad you hardly have that kind of time,
it's a part of the e-learning.
So e-learning is quite wholesome over there, So it's like we try and formulate a classroom, just equivalent to being physically present.
A virtual classroom.
The virtual classroom is equivalent to a physical classroom. So
they basically bridge that gap between where there's no face of the company.
There's just just not face of the tutor. Otherwise, whatever you're writing, whatever the tutor is writing at that point of time is visible on the computer, and you're like talking with the child, and however it's going about. So it's quite one-on-one and a very, very focused kind of the session that's taking place.
Okay, Karan, coming back to you, what were the problems you were facing, with sales, marketing? These are the general issues we come across, for all these startups. There are problems like how to outreach to the market, how to get in, probably enhance sales, starting from scratch.
In terms of travel, I think it is very easy to start off because there is no hard or fixed capital involved in this. It is just the working capital that you have to revolve around. So obviously the funding was from my parents' side, from my personal side also, whatever I earned from the biotech route and all. But as far as reaching to more and more customers, it is not just, it is the marketing first of all that you have to do. It is the personal interactions that you have to have with the customer, right? And you cannot expect yourself to reach in the top-notch people and compete with people like big top-notch companies. You have to start at your own pace. If you start competing with them, it is going to be very depressing for you, so that you won't be able to raise your income in 10 years, right? So it is like go at your own particular pace. You have to focus on generating more and more customers by whatever means it is. Social meetups, That is basically more important because there is face-to-face interaction with the customer also, and then you generate referrals out of it. I'm meeting you today, maybe you recommend it to somebody else, and then that is a more short business that you can do. As far as marketing is concerned, obviously that goes side by side. You put in the advertisements in the internet, in social media, in newspapers, and obviously the SMS that we normally do it in India. That is the marketing that you have to do. But the existing customers also give you a reference for more. That is how you reach the customer. That's it. Besides that, I think there is no.
So how do you see social media marketing as a mode? Because these days, a website like Facebook is reaching out 3 million or more than 6 million people a day.
I believe social media, Facebook and Twitter like this is good for selling something that is tangible. Because our thing is a completely service thing. You cannot see the quality of it on Facebook. You can just see the package. Ultimately, a customer has to speak to the customer, he has to meet the person sometimes, because when he's going in for a bigger tour, a normal tour like Thailand or Singapore, Malaysia, that is no big deal, anybody can do it. Fine. If you go in for Europe or you go in for America, so the person actually, no matter how rich you are, how experienced you are in traveling, or how well traveled you are, still you will prefer meeting the person himself also. So it is based on the person's knowledge that he has of the country, that you will be more convinced. Seeing on the Facebook, I think you can have a web portal, you can see the packages, you can see the inclusions, you can see the price on it. But ultimately deciding factor depends on how comfortable are you in booking with that travel agent. In India or maybe in abroad also, no packages, no holiday packages are booked online. Only the tickets are booked online where you can get the TiE ticket within 5 minutes. In your email address. All the packages are made offline. You just send in the request, you put in all your details, whatever the travel dates are. Then there will be an executive who will cater to all your requirements, and you have an interaction with them. That you don't prefer this hotel, you don't prefer this hotel, you want this other service, etc. Then they'll give you the complete package. Because nothing is fixed in this. The prices might change any time. That is the main crux of this.
How did you become a member of the Wildlife Society? What's the criteria for the
See, my residence is quite close to Bombay.
Okay.
I normally never visited Bombay before I met Mr. Negi. Actually, he was the wildlife warden. And he's an international, basically, personality. He goes to Africa, he goes to Kenya, he goes to other places also, just teaching about how wildlife works and how to preserve not only the forests but also the animals. It is not only we basically who are endangered, it is the animals also who are endangered sometimes. So he gave me a very good session, he taught me yoga, he gave me quite knowledge about wildlife, so that is how I came to know about it. And now that it is more exciting and it is out of the Russian Pashtunwali city as well. So he was my role model for this.
So if, for example, I want to become a member,
you can become a member of the Wildlife Preservation Society of India. It was initiated by some Raja of Naba basically, just to preserve the wildlife. Right? You can easily become it since you may be a student or you may be an elder people. You can hardly get a membership of somewhere around 2,000 rupees. You get a magazine regularly from them, that is quarterly. That is covering all the issues on wildlife. Whatever the latest happenings have been done in the forests of Uttarakhand. So you will be updated on that. Plus, moreover, when they go on patrolling or any particular project, they'll definitely invite you to participate in that. Obviously, you can go with them. Becoming an advisor of the Wildlife Government of Uttarakhand is not that easy now. It was easier earlier when I became it. So, it is a volunteer basis. If I want to become an advisor, I can put in my papers and all, and then ask them to evaluate. If they think that you are interested in it and you will be actively participating in the activities also, only then they consider you as the advisor. And then you have to go with them whenever they call you for any patrolling party or anything. your case, in case you are more into the IT thing, and so they'll expect that you put in all the videos on the YouTube and do such things, contribute that part to them. So that will be a help for the vendor department as well.